Rielly said this morning that the line was close to finding their groove. What was it today that clicked?
I think just through the neutral zone, we did a great job of keeping our speed, making plays through it. Not essentially every time on the tape, just area plays and working to get the pucks back. And we did a good job of trying to limit their rush chances and speed to the neutral zone. And when we did that, I thought we got the puck back and made plays off that.
What might this portend?
Hopefully just us helping this team win games, regardless if it's on the score sheet or just overall. I think that's what I was happy about our game is overall. I thought we did a good job of really not giving up a whole lot through the game. When we did, Sammy made some unreal saves for us like usual, and we just want to go out there every night and try to be the same line that we were tonight. But obviously, it's not going to happen like that every night. So just about working, just trying to keep it connected, and just try to keep it buzzing.
You could really see the bench erupt there when the hat-trick goal went in for O'Reilly. What was the feeling like on the bench?
Yeah, I mean, it's only been a couple days with him and Cookie, but both guys have meant a ton to this team. Noel there tonight, just finishing every check, being on the forecheck, unreal stick as well, just knocking down a lot of pucks. And Factor, same kind of thing, man. He's just got a great stick. He snaps back a lot of draws. So we're very excited to have those two. They mean a lot to this team, and you saw it there tonight. They were leading the way in a lot of different things.
What do you see from John in the wing, Mitch? He hasn't played there much in the NHL.
Yeah, he's getting used to it. It looks like he's getting a little better. Obviously it's still a little uncomfortable, but I think he's finding his groove pretty well there. He did a good job there tonight, and I thought he's done a good job the last two games as well. It's definitely probably a little weird for him to get used to it, but I thought he's done a good job adjusting.
You've gone from center to wing. What's the best advice you could give him?
I don't know. I guess try to watch your D-man, make sure he doesn't try and slip by you or dangle you at the blue line for a goal. That's really it.
The different game day routine, not a mandatory skate. Just what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to our coaching staff, up to our science guys, and the guys that have a pretty big brain in there. So I think they've done a great job really all year long of just understanding us and letting us do our thing, and I think it worked there pretty well tonight.
Do you feel like it helps you? Does it matter?
I mean, I think it's just good to have kind of the option up to yourself to decide what you want to do, decide what you want to take or not. So I think it's all up to everyone's preference, and everyone's different, but it's definitely good to have your own kind of decision to make.
Morgan, what's it mean for the team? It's been a whirlwind for those two guys coming here.
Yeah.
But to see him get a hat trick in his first league hat trick.
Yeah, obviously, a pretty busy time for those two guys, being traded, going right into a back-to-back, into travel and all the rest of it. And, they both handled it extremely well. So, for them both to play well, and then obviously O'Reilly ending up with the hat trick is cool. And, him playing here, it's a good story.
What stood out most about the way that line started the game?
Yeah, the start was obviously important to the outcome of the game in the grand scheme of things. So obviously some nice plays by Mitch and JT, and then O'Reilly again being the goal scorer on those. That turned out to be a huge for our team. Great start. Ends up being important for us down the stretch.
I know it's 3 games in, but what does the additions of of the two guys pretend for this team, moving forward?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just how they play. They play hard. They're really competitive. They play that good 200-foot game, and we want players like that who come in and compete. So it's been nice having them around. So hopefully they can get more comfortable as we get home here. Then we're going on the road again. So as their teammates, it's important that we make them feel welcome and comfortable. So I will make sure to do that.
Not the first road game where you've gotten support, but to see all the hats on the ice in an away building, the wave when you're doing well, what does that feel like?
It's pretty cool. We've had that here before, but I think tonight was maybe the best that I've seen. So the hats on the ice in an away arena is pretty cool. So kudos to our fans for coming out and being supportive, and glad we could end up with a win.
Morgan, what are you seeing John's adjustment to the wing?
Yeah, he's been outstanding. I really haven't noticed a ton, which is probably a good thing. He's just out there playing, and I think when you, have all those guys playing together, the way that they're able to process the game, you could probably put them in all different positions whenever, and they'll figure it out. So I think they've done an outstanding job.
What's it say about John that he, just goes about it? Sees an opportunity. He's played with center like his whole life. And
yeah, it's obviously impressive, but that's who he is. If your role changes, you have to be willing to accept that and work. And it's not a big change, or I mean, it is, but ultimately within the depth chart, he's just kind of moving over. So, but that's just good leadership. I mean, we expect other guys to do that, other D-men to take on different roles. So when your captain's able to do it, that's just leading by example.
What was working so well for you and your line guys to start this game?
Well, I think we were just knowing what we're up against and how well they play on transition and the amount of time they spend in the offensive zone and how they can generate offense. So I think just being diligent without the puck and good 2-foot game and able to slow them down, obviously cause some turnovers and be able to counter ourselves. Just doing a good job and obviously executing when the opportunities were there. So obviously some pretty good hockey players and just good execution from good work without the puck.
What's been the biggest change for you moving to the wing?
Well, I'm not in the middle of the ice obviously nearly as much, so just being on the walls, obviously trying to be good there with those plays. And then obviously, working to get into good spots, open ice, getting my feet moving. So, just continuing my build game from there. I think each and every game, feeling better and better. A little less thinking, becomes just more habit and instinctive. So, obviously, like I said, getting better and better. So continuing to build on it and happy with some of the progress I've had.
John, you talked a little bit about, the chemistry was slowly getting there. I mean, 13 points for your line. Can you remember a night where your line had 13 points wherever you played?
Well, I think most importantly, we went out and did a good job without the puck and obviously then generated some good looks, which obviously we have the capability of doing with, I think, the type of players we are, and obviously doing the job that we have to do to help this team win. So we want to go out there and produce and be productive, continuing to do a good job in all areas. So I think that's what we got to be most happy with, and obviously it's good to see the puck go in the net. That's, like I said, you want to capitalize on opportunity, especially when you're generating good looks, and we felt things got better over the 2 games on the weekend, and obviously again here tonight to get rewarded. It's great, and we get to get a couple of days of rest, some more practice time, and continue to get more familiar with one another.
I know you can't expect that many points from a line on each every night, but 3 games in, what does this maybe portend for what this team can do and maybe perhaps the different dimensions it has?
Well, I do think we can have different dimensions because I think the ability to have different looks, different combinations, I think the depth. So I think that's all great, and I think that we showed a lot of good things tonight, a lot of good signs, but I think there's no doubt that this win should feel a lot better than it does just because of the way the game finished up and how we didn't take care of it the way we'd like to. So, but in saying that, a lot of good things to put us in the spot we're in, like you mentioned, because of just good work and details and the execution and the competitiveness and the depth that we have. So, a lot of good things to build on.
Is there anything you've learned about Ryan that over the last few days here that you didn't already know about him?
I would just say you just get a better feel for him as a player because you're playing together and you're on the same team. So, I know playing against him it was always a little bit of a chess match just because he understands and reads the game so well. He can put himself into an elite offensive player's mind and just be able to just know what you're thinking and being a step or two ahead and just being so good defensively that way. Just the communication he has throughout the shifts or on the bench, and obviously just reading off each other. And I think there was definitely a step there today from the 3 of us. So obviously his game is such a compliment, I think, to our group and obviously the type of players we have.
What was the atmosphere like tonight, John? Morgan was saying that might have been the best atmosphere in Buffalo from a Leafs fan perspective since he's been here.
Yeah, it was awesome. I noticed that obviously my first couple of years, last year it definitely wasn't quite where it has been, and today was pretty spectacular. Leafs Nation is incredible, and just the way they travel and the support we get on many places on the road, and certainly obviously being pretty close to back home, come out and support us. So it's always great to have an atmosphere like that.
See that puck go across the line for a hat.
Well, I had like 3 chances before it to get it there, and even that last one too, I missed it and I go down to score. So it was kind of didn't sit well, but it was obviously a great play by Huskies getting the puck out at the end there, and kind of got lucky at the end one, just kind of throw it at the net and goes in. But obviously feel good. I think our line. Yeah, we got on the board tonight. The last game, like I said, we were doing a lot of good things. It was just nice to get rewarded tonight.
Have you ever been on a line that got 13 points in a single game?
I haven't, but I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Does a hat trick mean any more, given that it came in a place where you used to play?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it definitely feels, I guess a little better than other buildings for sure. But yeah, anyway, it's again just to get on the board like that, to contribute tonight. Get the first one out of the way too. So it's it's a good feeling right now. Throughout the game, obviously, it would have been nice to just shut the door and not let them get back into it. But win's a win.
How are you finding Ryan playing with Mitch, not against some things he's able to do with the puck?
Yeah, it's much nicer playing with them than against them, that's for sure. But just, so smart. I think tonight he had five helpers. You just see the playmaking ability, the vision. Like that first goal, I'm just going to the net. The next thing it's on my tape, and I had the whole wide open net. It's the plays you'd make, and it's so dynamic, so dangerous, and even Johnny too. Like the plays. They're so connected. They work so hard. They make little plays and set things up. It's a lot of fun playing together.
I know it's 3 games in, but what potential do you foresee? You're not going to have these. Your line's not going to have these kind of nights every night. But what potential do you think, you see this as an added dimension to what this team can do and how it can build upon it?
Yeah, there's obviously all the pieces here. There's just a lot of work that has to be had. And tonight, that's. This team's a very rushed team. It's back and forth. I don't think there's a lot of below the goal line. Kind of heavy style game. It's kind of just trading chances a lot. So it's a little different style, and in our next game too, I think it's going to be a different challenge for us. It's going to be a little heavier, but it'll be a good test for us. But there's great pieces here. It's just we have to continue to build. There's a long road ahead of us here, and I think it's going to be a good one.
What's it about the atmosphere tonight?
It was great. Yeah, I know we said before the skate, after morning skate, how it's nice to be on this end of it and see all the fans too, the wave and just being into it. That's great. The fans they're here and we gave them a good show.
Have you ever seen that many hats hit the ice on a road hat trick?
I haven't. Yeah, it felt like a home game that way in the sense, but there was definitely a good feeling after missing those those opportunities a little earlier to get it. So it was great to see.
Do you save a souvenir from a hat trick?
I haven't, no. I think it's my third one. I haven't yet, but who knows? We'll see.
Do you get a chance to relax now? I mean, you've been 3 games and 4 nights, and it's been a whirlwind. I don't know if you slept in the same bed, at all.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I think a lot of adrenaline too. Like still a little surreal. Putting on this sweater and being here with this team. It's just, I'm still kind of pinching myself at times, but it's very exciting. And yeah, I think it'd be nice to kind of go home, kind of settle in, and I still don't have a full practice with the team yet, which is kind of weird. So kind of nice to get a feel for that.
Well, obviously, they were just at their best right from the start. But like as we talked about leading into the game, I thought that group was close the other night to a few chances. Obviously, Rielly missed a breakaway right at the very end of the game, and that one probably sits with them for a bit. But I thought that line, our team in general, our team game in that first period, that's as dominant as we've been all season long. So it was tremendous to see.
How much of a glimpse into the future might, you're not going to get that many points from one line, every night, but how much of a glimpse into the future as far as depth and maybe an added dimension that this team might have with how you produce tonight?
Well, I think, like I said, our team game. I mean, obviously it was that line that broke out tonight. The next line it might be the Matthews line. It might be each line spread out. But I think that's as I said to the guys, that's what it's supposed to look like. In terms of the team game, we're supposed to counter quickly on offense. Most of our goals came out of good defending and shutting down the neutral zone and transitioning the other way. That was the key for us going into the hockey game, and the guys executed at a high level. So happened to be the O'Reilly line to get us going, which was great. Bunt scores us a great goal, and I thought the Kampf and the Charlie lines were really, really good defensively and gave us good shifts too. So, like I said, for that first period, in particular, the first 15 minutes or so, it's as good as we've been in all facets, with and without the puck all season. So that's the results you get. That's what you're striving for every night. Obviously, it's really difficult to get everything clicking at that high level all at the same time, but that's what it looks like when it does.
Much focus on the back half of that game where things slid a little bit, or when you build such a lead, is that almost inevitable at times?
Well, when you have like I said, when you have a period like we did, and you grab control of the game on the road the way that we did, you're not going to get too critical of the rest of the game from there. That said, while there's a great sample of what it's supposed to look like and what we're capable of, I think there's still plenty in there in the second half of the game that shows why we need to stay on our habits, on our details all the way through, regardless of score or opponent.
Obviously, so much of the team's game was working at the start of this game. Was there one element that when you saw it was going, you're like, okay, this is really us? Or?
Well, there's two things. I thought that the way that we defended in terms of how hard we closed, on both sides, whether it was our defensemen with tight gaps or forwards from the backside providing pressure and forcing them to turn the puck over and give it back to us, and then the way that we countered, and how we made plays, held on to the puck, like we were executing at a very high level there. Mitch was really feeling it early in the game. So that's, and it was, like I said, it was all lines, the way that we were moving the puck out of those transitions. So it's one thing to defend hard and get the puck back, but then you have to execute at a high level to go the other way to really control play and take over. And, on both sides of it, it was really clicking for us there, really.
Does tonight maybe make you want to stay with the second line longer than anticipated?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't put any sort of timeline on it other than, to just to say that I wasn't going to do it for 1 or 2 games. I think we owe it to the line to spend some real time together. It would have been easy the other night after a loss, and maybe it didn't go so great to break it up. But I feel like our third and fourth lines have been so good. There's lots of reasons to just stay with it, and felt like they were close. So I think it's a good sample of what we're capable of. I still feel at the end of the day, we're going to have John back in center and all those kind of things. But it's, you want to build chemistry and you want to build confidence that if and when you go to it, that's what it's capable of.